all I need is just your signature at the bottom. And do they like pause, or like is it like you kind of like pause and let them kind of think?
If you did it right, we can role play. If you want me to walk the purchase agreement through you.
Yes, that'd be fine.
I don't know if you've heard any of my calls, how I do it.
Yep.
Sweet, Jordan dropped the call. Let's go. So let's just role play it.
Okay, you want me to be the seller?
Yeah, so I'll be the closer, you'll be the seller, and just accept my offer. Okay.
Okay.
And then let me pull my purchase agreement. I'll share my screen so you guys can see it, like how I walk them through it too.
Okay.
Because what I'll do is I put them on hold. I fill it all out live, and then I send it to them, and I walk them through the whole thing. And a lot of my PAs get signed live now.
Nice.
There used to be a huge drop off because when I'd be like, I'd hang up the phone, I'd write it up, I'd send it over to them. Like, it's a guessing game at that point. But when you take full control,
Yeah.
it's amazing how much more people sign. Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Obviously, this purchase agreement's blank, but just pretend it's filled out.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle, what my team was showing me, for a property just like yours, I mean, we were seeing other investors, they're paying like 23 to 25,000 for something like this. Like, what do you even say to an investor making an offer like that?
Man, honestly, that's quite low. We're looking to get a little bit more than that, but yeah, I mean, we got a ton of offers on this land. So
yeah, I got you. I mean, it does look like my team is closer to 25,000. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I would say that's probably the lowest we can go.
That's the lowest you'd go?
Yeah, for 25, I mean, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, that property was just passed down from my family to my father, to his father, to me. And yeah, I think that's the lowest we can go right now.
Okay. So I put something like that in front of you. Is that something you actually consider, or would you still want to sit on your property?
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely would consider it. I mean, we've been thinking about selling it for quite some time. For the last couple of months. I mean, we're not gonna ever go there. So,
well, what's a good email for you?
It'll be kyledavis@gmail.com.
I'm typing their email, obviously. Are you by your email right now, by chance?
No, I'm actually not. I'm actually outside. I'm not by my computer.
Okay. Well, no worries. I can actually send it to your phone. If you're cool, I can actually write this up now for you and just send it over to you. Just make sure everything looks good. You cool if I put you on a quick hold?
Yeah, it's completely fine.
I'll put them on a hold. I write up the purchase agreement so you guys can see here. I use PandaDoc, which I think is the best software.
Okay.
So I fill out date, name, parcel, acreage, all the stuff, price, and then this is my double close verbiage. If it's not a double close, I just remove the clause. Super simple. So perfect. I just put you on like a 2-minute hold. Kyle, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I should have just sent it. You see it in your I just sent it to your text. Your phone should be there. You see that?
Yes, I got it right now.
Let me know when you see that. Just can you confirm for me? Is your name spelled correct there at the top left corner?
Yep. Well, you gotta have my wife's name too.
Your wife's name?
Yep.
Just added Andrew.
Cool. Yep. That looks good.
Perfect. And then right below that says the parcel information. I just pulled right from the county, so it should be correct. And if you scroll down for me, you're going to see 8 clauses, just like I mentioned, super simple agreement. So number 1, Kyle's price, buyer will pay $25,000 USD, obviously paid by cashier's check or wire transfer, and the title company will work all that out with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Number 2 just says we're purchasing some cash. We're not financing it.
Okay.
Number 3 just says there's no liens on the property. I'm assuming there's no liens on it, right?
No liens.
And then number 4 just says we're covering all closing costs, everything associated with selling the property. So $25,000 will be net to you and your wife. Any questions for me so far?
Yeah, you guys are going to be taking care of all the closing fees, right?
Yep, that's what number 4 says.
Cool.
So number 5, Kyle, says cancellation. It says buyer retains the right to terminate this agreement by delivering written notice. And this is in here because we've come across some pretty crazy sellers in the past. I'm not calling you crazy, but unfortunately, we have been burned before. So it's just in there for our protection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then number 6 is acceptance, just send when the agreement's accepted by. And then number 7 is assignment. So I have 2 different LLCs I purchase properties under. You'll see my business partner Ben's name at the bottom here. Obviously, I'm not Ben, I'm Nick. So it's either his LLC or my LLC.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
And then number 8 is the closing date. I have 60 days on here. It's usually sooner than that, but just so no one's in a rush. Does that time frame work for you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to go sooner as possible, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Yeah, usually it's 3 to 5 weeks, but we just leave that in there just in case. Any questions on any of this?
Not really. I mean, it looks pretty plain and simple.
Perfect. If you scroll all the way to the bottom there and you tap that button,
Okay.
you should be finished. I'll go in my email and make sure I get it back from you.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. Wait.
And role play off. So if his wife is on title, I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing that call with his wife on there.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times they'll sign it anyways because I'll put his wife's name all together. So like if he signs, it's like for both of them.
Yeah.
But if she does need to sign, then I make sure she's on the call so I don't hit with, oh, let me talk with my wife. Like you don't want to get hit with that. You want to pre-handle the partner spouse objection.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty easy enough. Yeah, we've been doing, and the reason I asked it because we send a lot of agreements and they don't even look at the agreements. So I'm just like, it was frustrating. It's like, man, we were good on price and they didn't look at the agreement. So we're like, we need to change it. But I don't think I've done a live one since we've been doing it, but that was simple enough. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything anyone noticed specifically after that role play?
Nothing I noticed, but I do have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So I know Ajay mentioned that he sends purchase agreements over text, and obviously you just mentioned it. I never got around to setting that up. Is that an easy thing to do?
Panadoc is like automatically does that. So I send it to their email, but a lot of times, like what Kyle hit me with, like, oh, I'm not buying my email. I just send that link to their phone.
So you can literally just copy the link and send it.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so they can hit you with like any excuse you can get them to still sign live. I'll be careful if they're driving because I don't want to actually have them crash while I'm like having them sign it in the car. But I've had people pull over when they're driving to sign the agreements before. So.
And then Nick, you just I was gonna ask you. That's true. Okay, no, that makes sense.
Coach, I see you have a question.
Just in my experience with high ticket stuff, I'm not sure it's applicable over here. So whenever I'd have people driving, because you will get 0% of people to pay or sign anything while driving. And so anytime you hop on a chat with someone while they're driving, I just say, hey, it's company policy. I don't take calls while they're driving, just from a safety precaution reason. If they give you a why, I actually legit had a call with someone once and they got in an accident. All of a sudden, like, it was a Zoom call too. So like the screen goes black, all that stuff. So I just tell people it's company policy just from a safety standard. So just when are you at your next location so I can just connect up with you and optimize our time. And at least from that standpoint, I've not applied that here, but I'll be doing the same thing if someone drives, because you'll never get someone to sign. You'll never get someone to agree with anything if they're driving. You'll never get someone to pay for anything. It just will not happen. But once they're pulled over, I've gotten many people to sign, many people to pay for stuff. And I'll be applying the same thing here. So not sure if it would work or is applicable, but I've done that many times and closed many deals doing that. I think it would probably work here, but not sure. Haven't tried.
Yeah. Charity, I see you have a question.
Hey, Nick. I had to step away for a quick second, so I'm not quite sure if you went over double closes at all.
Yeah.
Could you possibly just kind of share how you pitch that scenario?
Absolutely.
Cool, thanks.
So there's 3 questions for the double close that set us up really, really well. So I obviously don't pitch a double close unless my cash offer gets rejected. And if I'm trying to do more double closes, obviously I'll just lower my offer percentage for the cash offer. Let's see here. So you want to just role play it so you can kind of hear what it sounds like, and then we can go over after?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Okay. So I want you to reject my offer, and then we'll come to an agreement, but it's a little bit higher than my original offer, and I'll do the double close, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Charity, you know what my team was showing me, for a property like yours, I mean, we were seeing other investors, they're paying around that, 45, 48,000 for something like this. I mean, what do you even say to an investor making an offer like that?
Nick, speaking with my husband, we were really trying to get higher than that. I just don't think we could do that offer.
Couldn't do that. I mean, it does look like my team is closer to that 48 number. I mean, what do you think about that?
Could you do maybe 50? A little north of 50?
Go higher, go higher.
Oh, okay, 60. There we go.
60?
Yeah.
Got it. And just so I understand, Charity, like you wouldn't even consider an offer under 60,000? Am I getting that right?
No, we just can't do it.
That's the best you could do.
Yeah.
So can I ask, is there anything preventing us from working together besides the price of the property?
No, that's pretty much it. We'll be really happy at 60 if you could do that for us.
So if I could get you 60, we could do the deal?
I believe so.
You believe so? I guess I should ask, are you in any kind of rush to sell the property?
Not too much of a rush, no.
Okay. I mean, it does look like I should be able to get you, 60,000. The terms would just look a little bit different. Do you want to hear more about that?
Yeah, sure.
So nothing changes as before. We would just, as long as you're not in a rush, we just need an additional, usually 60 to 90 days in order to go from 48 to 60,000. We're going to partner up with some retail investors in the area who do a lot more deals than us, so we can essentially justify overspending on the property. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's a good email for you?
WadeCharity@gmail.com.
And then roll it off. And then, I mean, it's really simple. There's so many different ways you can like walk them through it, but that's usually the best way that I've found is I just say that retail investors in the area who can essentially spend more than what we can. I'm like, we're still buying the property. Nothing changes because technically if we're double closing, we still buy the property unless we're signing it. So what did you notice about that?
So your ways, you say we partner with retail investors in the area who could spend more than we can, but then you say we're still buying the property. I'm just curious, when you're pitching this, what kind of feedback do you get, around that?
It usually gets accepted. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of uncertainty, but I have to break down the whole process as far as like title. I'll send them my bank account. I'll send them my website. Those are just like, that's a certainty objection. I dropped in the chat the verbiage there for you guys, but it's 3 questions. We want to isolate price. Then we want to tie it down, confirm we can do the deal if we hit their price expectations. And then from there, confirm they're not in a rush. Because I try and get 150 days on my double closes. Because if you get 120 or 90, like the odds of it closing are just very low.
That's actually a pretty good point. I've noticed that because usually I'll be around 120 and it's pretty tight. So for you say about 150?
Yeah, I used to do 120. Now I do 150, and I'll usually have a thing in there that says like the buyer has an additional 30-day extension, or you can do 30 business day extension, which is a huge little hack because it's just like small print, and 30 business days is more than 30 days. So
Can I ask something? Question about those double closes. Obviously, I mean, you're often going to list the property. Do you bring that up at all?
no, I mean, it says right there in the agreement, like buyers have the right to list on the MLS, but that's just, I usually frame it in there as it's an authorization of market clause in my agreement. Like this is in here because like I mentioned before, we're going to be partnering up with a retail investor. And for me to get them out on the property, like obviously I don't own your property right now, right? So legally we have to have something in there that's allows people to get out on the property. Does that make sense? And they're like, yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay. But Nick, that's in a separate agreement that you have that clause in there?
No, it's all the same agreement. I just remove the clause if it's a cash close. So it just says it's authorization of market. It just says buyer has the right to list his property on multiple listing services.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So how do you actually say that when you're walking them through the purchase agreement when you cover, the marketing aspect?
Yeah, just kind of how I did with Andrew. So I'll say, Charity, you see number 8. Oh, actually, let me just pull it up so you guys can get the visual of like what it says on mine. Basically what I just sent to Andrew.
Okay.
This will help. 1 second. And then Jordan will get to your call after Aaron's question. So, Charity, you heard the role play that I did when I walked through the whole PA? Were you there for that?
Yes.
So nothing, everything is the exact same. Now the only difference is we have number 8, and then we have 150 days in here. That's the only difference, which makes it super, super easy with your systems and your closers when all they have to do is make that change for a double close versus cash, because they should not be focusing on having all this, back end stuff that makes it super complicated. Just make it as simple as possible for everyone. That's what we do. So after I walk through number 7, I say number 8 says authorization to market. So Charity, just like we talked about before, we're partnering up with retail investors. Obviously, I don't own your property yet. So to legally get someone on the property, this just, you're saying it's cool. We can have people walk the property since it's not ours yet. Does that make sense?
I see. Okay. One last question. Sorry, guys. When
Go
you
ahead.
get to the 150, just from my experience, even with the 120, I just get pushed back.
Yeah.
They say they're not pressed for time, but then to some of them, that's just too long. So what kind of feedback? Usually I go, my route I go is, due diligence and things like that. What do you usually say? If they push.
So I frame it as we're on the same side. And I actually got this from Corbin Garcia. It's really smart. Like, as a business, we don't make any money until we buy the property. So the sooner we can buy it, the better. So it's kind of like, we put 150 days on there, so we're not signing a bunch of extensions. But we're kind of on the same page here. Like you mentioned, you're not in a rush to sell it, right? And then you basically like double down that they're not actually in a rush. They just want it to close sooner. And they're like, no, I'm not in a rush. Like, okay, we'll perfect. It should be quicker than this, but this is kind of our worst scenario. Does that make sense? And they're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Nick, out of curiosity, they're gonna, because they'll probably ask you obviously about the EMD, right? Like, okay, if this doesn't close, then like you'll have to put the whatever EMD down. Do you get a lot of flack about that or in general?
I get away with it a lot of times. I'm not putting EMD down. I don't mention it at all. Unless if I hear hesitancy, that's one of our ways that we can handle the uncertainty objection. We put EMD down. Yeah, we send them proof of funds, our website. They can call a title company or a realtor that works with us.
Okay.
But usually I'll just put a couple $100 in. But that's it.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know who had their hand up first. It might have been Aaron.
Hey, Nick, whenever you're ready, I did submit a call just for you, my man. So
Sweet.
just wanted to let you know.
I know. We're doing Jordan's next after these questions. So I'll get to you, okay? Aaron, you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Just a quick one. When you're dealing with, I mean, I don't know what type of properties you normally go for, but if you're dealing with a seller where for his property, you have the ability to pay retail for it, but he believes retail is higher than it is. Something that I'll do is I will literally sell that. I'll send them the comparables for their property on market. But what would you do in a scenario where they're sort of still pushing? Like, for example, there's a property, it's like 77 acres. He wants like 6,000 an acre. It's worth like 3,500 an acre on the market. And I want to be able to sort of lean him my way.
He wants more than market value, though?
Yeah, but I want to validate that he's asking above market value. I sort of want to educate him on that. I was sort of curious how you feel about that.
I need a little bit more context as far as, the whole details of the deal, but so you're trying to validate this guy's feelings that he wants more than market value?
No. A simple way to put it is I just want to explain to him that he's asking above market value, and what I can pay is market value, not above market value.
I would just say, well, the comps are here, and then you can send him listings. If you're paying market value, yeah, exactly what Mark said. So you just send him comps like, hey man, like I'm not a realtor. They're charging 8%, 10% commission. This is what they're doing, and only do that if you can actually pay market value. Otherwise, that's
right for sure.
not a good strategy.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Does that make sense though? Like you just send comps and like, hey, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
literally what the market is showing. Like I can pay this and I'm not even a realtor. So
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do sometimes, but you know, this one guy right now that I'm dealing with is still sort of stuck on what he wants. And he
Yeah.
and he timbered the property, which obviously is not great.
I know I'm dealing with one of those guys too, but they're illogical sellers. It's just based on like emotion. Like I just want this price. If I don't get that price, I'm not selling it.
Yeah,
I'm dealing with a couple of those, unfortunately.
yeah. So that's sort of yeah, definitely it's an ego thing. All right, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mark, you had some questions?
I think somebody covered it. I was just going to ask about if you get pushback for not having an EMD in there. So I think you kind of answered that.
It happens, but it is rare. Like it used to happen all the time, but I feel like it just doesn't happen nearly as much. But like I said, I play it off. If they don't say anything about it, I never bring it up. If they're like, you're gonna put EMD down, right? I'm like, oh yeah, we do that for every property. Like you kind of just you want to make it seem like it's just company policy.
Okay.
But yeah, if you could put a couple $100 down, that's usually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Jordan, I have your call here. What's the context on this one?
Yeah, so this was actually a text lead that came in, and we had shot a range offer to them in the initial text.
Okay.
And then I had tried to reach out to the seller a couple times, and like everything was going straight to voicemail. So I think she like accidentally blocked me, but she actually called us back. So this is an inbound call.
Yeah.
We essentially broke down everything as far as kind of breaking down the range offer. Got an offer sent over to her yesterday as a cash deal, and she sent back an email saying that she's ready to accept it, but she's a little bit skeptical. So it sounds like there's kind of some there's a little bit of an objection just with some uncertainty that I probably need to work through.
Okay. What feedback are you looking for from me?
Well, I'd love to just get kind of your initial feedback on just the call. And then today I texted her right before this and just told her that I'm in a meeting right now, but I was going to call her right after this. But just kind of wanted to see kind of how you would approach the next steps and I kind of have an idea of what you may say, but I'm just curious to hear what your thoughts are for that follow-up call today. And you can bounce around this one. It's a little bit of a longer call. So we don't have to go through everything. I think towards the end is kind of when we start talking about the range offer price and kind of anchoring her to that.
What do you think the objection was on this call?
So honestly, it's weird because I think the objection kind of came before this call, because like in the text, she sent like a text back to our texter, and she was like, "Are you guys blowing smoke up my ass?" And then whenever I called her, she obviously wasn't picking up. And then we had the call yesterday. Everything went well, and then got a contract sent out to her. She said she was ready to sell, and then I tried to call her back to actually go over the offer on the phone.
Yeah.
But it was like same thing, like it's ringing once and then go into voicemail. So I shot her back an email to the contract that we had sent out, and that's where she came back and she's like, she was like asking if our company's approved by the Better Business Bureau and that whole objection.
Yeah. Sounds like certainty.
Yeah.
I'll just start like right here. So you guys are doing just a lot of like chit chat.
Well, beautiful. And as far as this property goes, Joy, I know you mentioned, so this was your father's, the land was your father's, but this is your house. Did you always kind of grow up in this area?
I did. I went my father's divorced, so I took care of him. So it's my dad.
I was going to say too, I'm on like the Google Street View and I was looking at some of those homes in that little subdivision. Looks like just right behind your property. Looks like there's some really, really nice homes out there.
Yes. Yeah, they're newer too.
Oh.
And the one on the left is the only one house that's on the left. Really nice people. Knutson's.
Gotcha.
No, I said that right. McNamara's. Anyway, TMI. But I'm saying what is it? We all know each other. And it's really nice. Everyone's got.
Have you talked with any of them? Like, are they open to having like a neighbor on that lot, or is that something you think you need to put on?
I would think that. I really think that they'd be very welcoming.
Got it.
Because they're kind of, they always say Minnesota nice, but Wisconsin's nice too.
Sure. And again, typically, pretty kind of fits in. It's not like we would be going in and putting in a pig pen in a trailer home property. Match up what's going on. Yeah.
Have you seen that new house that's being built, or just finished?
I have not.
In your area, so I would think that might give you an idea what you could possibly do with a lot, comparing it to that one house.
Sure. Yeah, and I was taking a look too at some of the notes that Edgar left with me. It looked like last week. I saw he had actually pushed this through to our underwriting team after he had been texting you, and he put that note on my desk. Is any of this on like city or county utilities as far as like water?
So your texters make range offers, and then you hop on the phone, right?
Yeah, so our texters make range offers, and then we're kind of in a weird phase because we had an appointment setter that we like brought on, but she's no longer with us. So right now we're taking all the first intro calls after the texters come in.
Interesting. So you already had your offer call with her? This is your second call with
This
her?
is my very first call with her.
This is your first call with her. Okay. Got it. Seems, yeah, that makes more sense then as far as like all this, like the chit chat. I was gonna say, normally it's like you want to talk more business, but this is totally fine.
Yeah.
For 13 minutes in, yeah.
Is it all well and septic out here?
It's actually called Star Prairie Township, where we're located.
Did he ever get like a perk test or a coffee filter? The coffee filter filters out the grind, and then essentially water goes through it. It's the same kind of concept that like a septic system works with. So essentially what they do is they do like looks like on the low end he was a little over 20,000, and on the higher end he was just over or just under 30,000. Did you have kind of like a price point in mind you were hoping to get if you were to sell the property?
Being naive, forgive me. I'm not familiar with that. So the difference between the 20,000 something and 29,000, is that a variable? Like what's it going to take to clear the lot?
No, so that range there, and usually the reason I talk with sellers is to get all that information so that we can relay that back to our underwriting team and kind of tighten up our actual offer. So essentially what I'll be doing now is I'll update all the notes for our underwriting team, let them know, and then they usually get back with us within sometimes they can get back to us the same day. If not, it'll be probably tomorrow with an actual either approved offer or they'll deny it. I don't see them denying this offer or denying any type of offer, but I was taking a look at some of the comps that Edgar had pulled before I spoke with you. This is last week. And I think we'll probably fall, if I had to guess, probably be somewhere in the 24 to 27,000 range, maybe 28,000 range. Is kind of where I see this going.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds okay.
Okay. Well,
there we go. It almost seems like it might be like a process thing. Because we could have totally locked her up here. So I just walk me through your process a little more. So you have range offers, you're taking the first call. After this call, your job is probably pull price on this call, or like further qualify, and then we'll go back to the comper, and then you make the offer call, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so typically what I'll do is every single call that I do, I start with like a range offer, and that just is so that I can allow myself, like if we want to present a cash offer, if we want to double close it, we're kind of on, we can deal either way. And then once the range offer is shared, depending on kind of the feedback we get, we kind of move it on to kind of the next phase. So, with her, it sounded like she was open to just the range in general. The actual offer that we sent to her was actually under that range. So I shot her an offer, I think at 22,000 and some change. That's the one that she was okay with.
Yeah.
So after this call, I get her information, get her email, and I'm telling her, hey, I'm going to work with the team, get everything put together. Right after this call, I went through the numbers, just made sure everything kind of checked off. And we've got another comper that reviews it. So got a couple eyes on it. And then we put together the contract and send it out to her.
Okay. The one thing that is like sticking out to me is, so the offer was 22. So right here, we mentioned 24 to 27. We're just trying to give her a range. The moment we say a number, like now we're backpedaling. Did she end up signing?
No, so she ended up replying back to like the sign now email saying, she was like, yeah, I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm ready to accept the offer. And then that's like, when she did that, I called her, it did that weird thing where it went straight to voicemail. And then I shot her a text message and it was like, hey, if you, I can give you a call real quick. We can go over the offer. I know sometimes sign now is a little bit funky to go through. I can just kind of walk you through the process.
Okay.
And that's when she responded back, and she's like, she's a little skeptical.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Because normally I would say the moment we throw out a number that we can't actually perform on, that really hurts us. So when we say, we can do 28,000 and then our offer's 22, it's like, oh man, it's like when you send out a blind offer for like
Yeah.
70, but you need to be at 50, and it's like super hard. Like you can do it, but it's a lot of work on our end. So I recommend either when we throw out our ranges, we might want to go lower.
Yeah.
Because we don't want our offer to be lower than what we say. It's really hard. And I'm sure it sounds like you're gonna sign her, so that's not for this deal, but like future deals, I would definitely recommend don't mention a price higher than what you can pay.
Yeah. And I think the reasoning behind why I did that, and that makes complete sense. And like looking back on it, I was like, yeah, that was dumb. But the thing with this deal is like for a cash deal, it actually made more sense to kind of be in that, I would say 22 to maybe 24, 25,000 range. But I think once we start creeping up into the higher 20s, because there's some brush hogging, some clearing up on the property that we'll probably end up doing to get it to like closer to max value. I wanted to kind of bake that into the underwriting a little bit, but I also, in like my head, I was like, I don't know how much that typically will cost. So I was kind of giving myself a little bit of buffer room there.
I would just recommend, like, so your texture has their range, excuse me, their range is totally fine. When you say a range, I would just drop your range back like a couple percentage points or whatever. So maybe like, they could be somewhere between 20 and 25,000. Like, what do you think about that? And then you're just assessing her, where she's at as far as
You're
price.
just kind of anchoring down a little bit.
If she says that's good, I usually just go like, yeah, it looks like my team's closer to 20,000. Like, what do you think about that? Like, it's a really good way. If they accept the range offer that I give them, or that it's a positive reply, I take the lowest number I just said because they responded positively. I say like, this is where we're at. Now, if they respond negatively, like, all right, like we can do the higher number, but it's a really good way to save like an additional $5 to $6 grand on like every single contract. But that's obviously not on this call, so I'm getting off track here. I do think we totally could have pushed for the close right here, though. That's the one thing where I'm like, shoot, like that's kind of a bummer that you don't have the green light on these calls because you're the, obviously you're the closer. Because usually when I get like, yeah, that sounds okay. What's your email? Walk them through live, like that thing is closed.
Yeah.
But obviously we can't really do that here. So maybe I don't want to tell you to talk to your team, but like I would find a way. How can you get the green light on these calls? Because this is a very easy layup right here.
Yeah. Now, I work with Sumner, so I know he would 100% be okay with us doing the on the phone call. We've been talking about doing those a lot more. And right now, like our biggest thing is walking sellers through, getting them on the phone to walk through the offer. So I think I heard your call earlier where you kind of took a pause or put the seller on pause, wrote up the contract, and then kind of send it out while you're on the phone with them.
How many contracts do you think are out right now that haven't been sent back signed? Just like a ballpark, like the last like 3-4 weeks.
Probably close to 15.
15.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. So when you guys do every single one live, it'll probably cut that in half.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do any guarantees, but from what I've seen from like me doing it and like implementing with other people, like you'll probably get like 7 of those back. And then like right now I probably have like 3 or 4 that are out right now that haven't been signed yet due to whatever reasons. But when you get everyone, like you take the time, Ajay says, what does he say? Like the amount of time people have to like sleep, go to the bathroom, and like they're always doing life. Like people are just living. They don't care about selling their land very much. So the moment we have her like, yeah, that sounds okay, get her email, get her to sign that thing. Now she can go about her life and she just like, this is already taken care of.
Okay.
I just think we want to have the lowest friction possible. That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, I know you went over kind of like a role play on one of the last calls on how you get the seller to kind of go over the contract while they're on the phone. Like, do you have like 2 or 3 like tips that you use for the majority of your sellers that you talk with that seems to be kind of like great ways to get them to be a little bit more engaging with actually open up the contract, going over everything?
So a lot of times you're saying like they don't want to open it on the call. They're like, oh, I'll take a look at it later tonight, like things like that.
Yeah, always get that one.
That's what I always got to. So what I do is I confirm that their name is spelled correctly before I hop off the call. And once they look at the agreement, now I'm in and I can walk them through the whole thing. So I mean, we can like role play it, but basically, like, yeah, Jordan, can you confirm before I let you go here? Is your name spelled correctly in the top left corner once you open it?
Okay.
And then like you have to now open it and look at it. Like 1 second, it's loading. And if they try and kick me off, I'm saying the exact same thing. Like, yeah, no, before I go, I just want to make sure it looks good. Just, make sure it looks good for you before I let you go.
Okay.
And then like you're doing it for them. So we just reframe like why we're having them look at it. And then all of a sudden now we're walking through the PA and now they don't have any questions. They're on board. We've got no objections and now they've signed. So they've gone from someone that's like, I'll look at it tonight, which they never do, to like now they've signed it. Like it's crazy.
Okay. No, that's super helpful.
My biggest hack, just go for the name. Just make sure the name's spelled correctly. Or if it's an LLC, like I just want to make sure the LLC was spelled correctly.
Okay.
Super good excuse to get on the call. Let's keep listening.
Let me do that. Let me kind of push this through and see what we can get approved on our end. But wait, is it just you that's on the deed, or is there anybody else that's kind of co-owner of the property?
No, it's just me.
Okay. Let me see here. And I don't think Edgar had got.
Jordan, you guys using Ajay's scripts? Or just Summer have you guys' own?
I've got Ajay's script, the Lane Closures Academy one. I probably need to go more line by line on that though.
The only thing super nitpicky, but I always want to confirm these like pre-handling objections before we talk price at all.
Okay.
But that's like super nitpicky. Okay.
An email. Do you have an email if we get that offer approved? That way we can send over a written offer to.
Yeah, yes, I do.
So you grabbed an email.
Anybody?
It's just there was like that delay, right? So you're definitely going to sign this lady, pretty much 100% guarantee almost. But I feel like if we can shorten that window, like I already mentioned a couple times on this call, we just shorten that window from the underwriting team. Like, all right, this is signed within 10 minutes.
And can I get your thoughts on? Because again, like this deal that we're doing, like we've done a ton of deals in this county. So like obviously I'm gonna, whenever I call her back, like I'll share Kava companies we work with, agents that we work with. Like I think I've got all of those pieces of the puzzle that I need to like move past that objection. But is there anything like specifically like how you would approach that follow-up call today?
What was the verbiage she gave you for her hesitancy?
So she sent me an email and she said, so at first when we sent the contract over yesterday, she says, I'm not very good with technology, but I accept your offer. So that's when I tried giving her the call back. And then she texted me back at the number that I was trying to get back and call her. And she said, cautious about your business. Are you BBB approved? ?
So yeah, definitely want to get her on the phone. We'll walk her through everything.
Yeah.
So once we do, we'll be like, hey, yeah, just like revisiting our conversation. We spoke the other day about your land. I catch you at a bad time. No, I'm fine. Like, what's up? Yeah, I know you had a couple questions about our business. Are you guys BBB approved?
We're not, no.
Okay. Well, you can just reference that all of BBB approved businesses is someone that pays for the name.
Yeah.
You can, that's what I do. Usually I'll say, oh yeah, I'm BBB approved. I'll use it as a, a good thing. But in this case, like, people just pay for it. It doesn't really actually mean anything. Right. And then she's like, I guess you're right. I mean, sounds like there's some hesitancy here. Seller name, whatever her name is. Can I ask, like, have you been burned before? Or what's holding you back right now? What would you like to see from us? Because I don't want you doing something you're not comfortable with. So like any of those talk tracks work. There's so many different ways you can go that route, but we just want to put the ball in their court and see like, what do they want to see from us to do the deal? And we don't want to push the deal forward until we solve this issue because this is a real objection.
Yep.
So usually it's proof of funds. I usually, what I say is, I don't want you doing something you're not comfortable with. If you want to see proof of funds, if you want to see my website, I'm an open book. Just let me know what you want to see from me.
Yep.
And they're like, okay. But,
that's really helpful.
Yeah, of course. Anything else from this call? I think that was pretty much it, right?
No, that was super, super helpful. I've got like a page of notes here, so I appreciate you for running through that.
Of course. Corbin, I have your call.
Yep. So background on this one, this lead has been going back and forth for a year. I couldn't get him on the phone for probably 10 months. Finally got back on the phone with him. He likes me, but it's his daughters. So this is there's a lot of calls to this, so it's not going to be like an introduction call. But I already isolated that he's the one that makes the decisions, and he always puts it on his daughters. But it's basically his daughters who are making the decision, and he's not going to give me his daughter's phone numbers. He's like, yeah, I'm the father. I'm like, all right, well, that's awesome. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a tough one, but let me know what you think.
Okay. What's the feedback you're looking for from me?
Maybe if I could just frame it in a different lens to have them understand better, possibly. I don't know. Just maybe if there's a different approach. 'Cause I've tried a lot, and
I'll listen there and see what I think.
Yeah. Are you presenting, bro? I can't even see it. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, sorry, guys. Oh my God. I probably look so goofy.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, hold on. I
Sorry.
don't think it's just
I gotta
me.
do it.
No, you're good.
Thank you. One time I went through an entire call, not sharing my screen.
The 6,000 an acre, and that's just kind of what
You guys can hear and see it?
Yeah, we're good now.
you feel that it's worth, right? At least you and your sister. And I was just kind of curious, did you guys get that from like a real estate professional or a realtor out here?
You're right.
I was saying, I'm just kind of curious, did you guys, where did you guys get that number? Was it just from like a realtor or something?
That's some girl, man. I don't have no idea. Them girls come up with that.
Okay, yeah, because I was, like I said, obviously, as you know, what I've been saying is, I could typically pay more than, other investors in the area. And just kind of looking at it, I just want to give you a reference point, right? Because I don't think I kind of explained myself that well. Just, based off what I see other people buying property around here for, they're paying, 4,000 to 4,400 an acre, right? What do you, I'm just kind of curious, what do you even say to somebody who makes an offer to you like that?
You're right.
I was saying, I'm just kind of curious. If somebody made you an offer for 4,000 to
It's
4,400 an acre,
horrible.
what do you?
It hurts my brain every time I call this dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I love sellers like this.
Even say to those people?
I told them to talk with the girls.
Okay. Because I get that. Obviously, you want to sell it, right?
I would have moved right there. Let's see. Remember, the more mirroring, the better, because it leaves the door open for them to talk as much as possible. So I think he said, I told them to talk with the girls. It's kind of hard to understand him, but I would just, if you don't understand them, that's exactly what the mirror does. Is like you say whatever they said in the question tone, like talk with the girls, and then he'll clarify. Like, yeah, this is, and then he'll like go on, and then we can get more clarity on what we can actually, how to move this call forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we really just want to talk with the girls, right? So
That's the thing, dude. I've been trying to push for that, and it's just like he just is not giving up their numbers. I'm like,
that's so
like how are we gonna? I think I told him a little bit lower in this call. It might have been another one. I was like, okay, well, how are we gonna even come to an agreement realistically if I can't talk to your daughters and they're stuck at that number? I don't know. I'm like, okay, so yeah, you're smart.
No worries.
Well, really, you called me to buy it. I never had signed up for nothing.
Obviously, if the price comes, it seems like we're good on price, right? But obviously your daughter, she's wanting a bit more, which I understand. But have you explained kind of what stuff's trading for out here?
You're right.
I was saying.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I was saying, have you explained to her kind of what stuff is, selling for around here?
That's not important. Well, they live in Virginia, they live in North Carolina, and one live in Florida. So you can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, they're just kind of like I said. Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. Hey, if I didn't really know, if you hear, oh, I'll give you 100,000, then you're like, hey, I want 120,000. What the heck? So, it's kind of reverse, right? Because stuff is trading for, that essence, say 80,000.
Them girls, man. Them girls telling me,
honestly, I don't even know if he's on board with your offer. So that's the first thing is I want to know, like, are we on board with price? Because then it's up to the daughter. But he didn't.
Yeah, let me give you some background. So I'm at 5,000 an acre. He's at, the daughters are at 6,000 an acre.
Okay.
This is worth like 10 to 11,000 an acre. this guy's not talking to anybody, so I'm probably gonna meet at the middle of 5,500 an acre. So
What I'm saying here is I've never heard him accept like your number or like close to it. Like we want to get some kind of like, if he says we don't want any maybes or like he didn't even answer you, like we want a yes or a no. Because then when we get the no, we can say, well, how far off is that for what you're looking for? And we can get a price, and then we can anchor and tie down a price and like get to that price. Where like we don't even have a number out here. It's kind of just, I mean, he's kind of sounds like an old guy. It's really hard to communicate with. That's
absolutely. But he again, there's a million calls for reference. He's like his daughters will take 6,000 an acre, like 100%. That's his number. Yeah.
Let's keep listening. I want to find out when he tells you no, giving his daughter's info.
If you can, for where they live, I said where they.
So, I mean, if you want to look on those, oh, it's expensive over there. I mean, would this money be going straight to you, or would it be going to all you guys?
I have no idea what they're gonna do with it. More than likely, they'll spend it.
Spend it? Do you think if we were gonna, I was gonna say, do you think, I mean, if we were to come to an agreement, it would help them out in any sort of way or anything?
Yeah, it'll help them out. I imagine, yeah, I know it'll help them out, yeah.
Okay.
I guess we'll talk about for
I mean,
for everyone on the call, I love to throw in, so if we're actively in negotiation, I'll usually take our offer price and I'll be like, I mean, if I were to put X offer price, like if I were to give that to you, like, would that even help them? And if they say yes, be like how? Like, what would you do with that? Would you go buy another property? And it gets them to like spend the money in their head. That's a really good way that you can actually create some urgency, considering all of our leads don't have any urgency pretty much. That's a little ninja tactic for you. Anyways, back to it's cool.
You think it would be worth if they kind of, like I said, because I just think, and I mean, this is just obvious, I just don't think they understand what stuff is going for over here, right? And I mean, I'm willing to pay a little bit more, like I said. So if I mean, explain that.
I'll tell them.
Yeah, like I said, man, I see $4,400 to $4,400 over market value, right? And I still got expenses I need to pay for, I mean, to make this work, right? So I mean, asking.
I'll tell them. You throw a number out, and I'll call them and tell them.
Yeah, like I said, man, I see $4,000 to $4,400 an acre.
Just curious, why are you explaining yourself so much?
Dude, hold on. I wanted to just.
For those that don't know, I live with Corbin, so I'm gonna be a little bit more blunt with him.
Oh my God, what's this guy's name? Freddie Wright, that's what it is.
You're justifying yourself a little bit too much, which is lowering your authority. And this is just me being super nitpicky with you, right? This is not gonna get you, but like, so
yeah,
said,
but he
said throw out a number, just give him a number and then be quiet, because then he has to talk. If you don't talk, he has to talk. Yeah, listen to Brian. Oh, watch that language.
We also live with him too, so.
But do you understand? Like, if you let's say if we're hanging out and I'm not talking, and this is like our first time hanging out, are you going to talk more because you don't want to be like awkwardly silent, right? Most likely you're going to talk. So the more times like we give the sellers opportunities to talk, they're going to talk. So the more we can not talk, it almost forces them to talk. So if you can sit in that awkward phase for a minute and just be a little quiet, like learn to love the silence and like the gaps, and they'll usually fill them up for you. And then, yeah, I would just cut all this out and just say whatever price you can get to. Like,
yeah, again, this isn't the best call review at all. I don't know if I should frame it in a different way. Basically, let them fill in the gaps. I like that. He doesn't understand half the things you say, so that's already tough as it is.
Exactly. We want him to talk, so then when he finally says something we can understand, then we can go from that.
I mean, you could look at the market as well. But I mean, what do you think they would even say to an offer like that?
I have no idea.
That's what I mean.
And that's something you think, I mean, if I loop back around, give you a call Monday, and you kind of told them, and you understand where I'm coming from, obviously, and I'm doing kind of a favor. You think that they?
So yeah, I would have gone straight to just say a price of $4,400 an acre. What do you think they'd say to an offer like that? I have no idea. I mean, say if they were to accept that, is there anything else preventing us from working together? He's probably like, no, as long as they're cool with it, we're on board. Cool. I'm happy to, obviously you can give it over to them. Do you have their email? I can actually send over an agreement so they actually can, see that we're serious about this. Would you like me to do that? And then like try and get an email from them, try and get a number for them. It depends how you want to frame it. If he wants the control, like, well, what's your email? I'll CC you on there as well. I just want them to make sure they can see it too. Things like that. I just have to work with this guy. I think you can. Yeah. No one else.
No, for sure. It's just he's a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Tough, I guess.
You want to do it yourself? Totally fine, man. I can always follow back up with you Monday. So.
Another nitpicky one, do not use the word follow-up. Because he's being called by Medicare salespeople, insurance salespeople. Everyone uses the word follow-up. Just say touch base. Super, super subtle shift, but now you're not going to be categorized in the same bucket as salespeople. Like, hey, yeah, I'll touch base with you Monday. Would that work for you? Or revisit this conversation. Just slight tweaks versus like, hey, I'll follow up with you. Like, it doesn't seem like it would do a lot, but it really does.
Okay. No, things actually go a long way, so I get what you're saying.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Um,
The rest is just fluff. You don't even listen to that. You're showing.
What was your biggest takeaway from
that? Definitely kind of the reference that you made. Like, obviously, when you go and hang out with somebody the first time, you want to talk because it's a bit awkward in a way. So, like, obviously, just from a human perspective, they're going to want to do that. And if you know and you have the high ground, I guess you could say, then you kind of know what they're going to do. So it's just being like one step ahead and just, especially for me, not talking as much.
Yeah, I think that would probably be like the 80-20 for you, is if you let the sellers fill the gaps for you.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
I'd say you're more extroverted, so you prefer to talk. I think introverts sell better because they don't talk so much. And because of that, the seller has to talk. Right?
Dude, I've noticed that, and it's so weird, but it's true.
More true. Oh, yeah, you could send a letter with the daughter's name on it. That's a good idea. I would definitely try and see what do you want to see from us? Like, what's your next steps look like here to actually get this moving forward? If your daughters would accept this, like, you want me to send something via email? Like, I just try to start setting next steps and things like that.
Yeah, I actually have a call with him right after this, so see how it goes.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, for sure. It actually does a lot.
Andrew, I have your call. I see, Coach, you have a question?
Not really a question, Corbett. If you just refine some of these things, like you're already crushing right now, dude. You're gonna absolutely blow up here in 2026. Not to glaze too hard, but dude, if you just literally refine stuff, you get so many reps in during the day. I mean, obviously, I live in the same house with you. Your volume is insane. You out volume everyone. If you literally just refine stuff and just let them talk more, you'll crush.
That's the goal. That's why I'm on here, bro. Learn something every single day. So,
Andrew, what's the context on this call?
All right. So sorry, I'm in an airport right now.
No worries.
It's a text lead. The guy said in the text messages that he wants 80 grand. And then we actually had hired a appointment setter, kind of like you were saying you would take the second call, the offer call.
Yeah.
And so this is an offer call after our appointment setter took the call. My biggest challenge with these calls is rebuilding rapport without restating all the notes that they talked about on the last call and pissing them off.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so I want to know that. And then we're only able to offer 25 to 35, and the guy went up to 85. So I don't even know it's not close, but I don't know what I could have done better here, or if I could have even done better here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You asked a really, really good question as far as how to not sound, not how to repeat the exact same thing and get yelled at. You want me to start from the top and go through because it's a quick call?
Yeah, it's only a 3-minute call, yeah.
Okay. If you could you just mute when I go through the call just because of the background noise?
Yep.
Sweet, appreciate it.
Hey, Steven, it's Andrew. How are you?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Let me pull up your property again. Just had it up a second ago.
He had called me and I wasn't ready.
It's Bullitt County, right? That's how you say it?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I understand. Let me pull up the notes. You really weren't looking to sell. You're just kind of open to offers, right?
Yeah, I've had some offers, and then I got a guy that's pretty interested in it.
Okay, and you haven't done anything to this lot, no improvements whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I've opened it up a lot.
So the one thing that's sticking out right now is we missed the frame of our call. So let me show you guys. So this is the script here, which for those that don't know, Ajay Sharma, he is my sales coach. So these scripts came from him. Obviously, I tweaked this one a little bit, but the foundation is the intro, frame, questioning. This comes from him. So usually we would say, did I catch you at a bad time with our intro? But he called us, so obviously we don't have to do that here. But make sure we frame the call and let them know what's going on, because this instantly boosts your authority. And now they're not going to be like, well, what's your offer? Halfway through your questioning. So what that looks like, Andrew, on this one. is like, oh, I'm pulling up your property. Like, yeah, I just had a few questions for you. It should take like 3 or 4 minutes or so before we jump into an offer. Is it still a good time for that? And they'll be like, yeah, now's a good time. And now you have like the green light to like ask away.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of good trees and stuff. I got rid of a lot of dead stuff and a lot of, but yeah, there's a lot of heavy, good oak trees and hickory trees on it. So I left those standing.
But then other than that, you never did anything to get it ready to be built on?
Well, no, we went through there with and cleared it out. Like, it's opened up a lot on the inside. It ain't like we went through and cleared it out, but it still kept all the good stuff in there, all the good trees.
Right. That's good for sure. Okay. And I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, I think we're good here. So my team did run some numbers here. I think we're a little off from what you're asking, but I also kind of think my team might be a little wrong on these numbers, but I will present them to you. So we got a range here. On the lower end of the range, we can cover closing costs, and it'd be a quicker close, like 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how fast the title company can move. And then on the higher end of the range, but that offer is between 25 grand and 34 grand.
Yeah, that's impossible.
I kind of agreed. I looked at their numbers, and I was kind of embarrassed to even present them, but I'm curious what that offer is that you already have.
After hearing that, Andrew, anything you would have done differently just from hearing that?
I don't know. I knew we were pretty screwed on this one and thought there was pretty much no chance, but
yeah, it's one of those. I know.
Yeah.
So when we make our offer, we want to shift blame, and usually like the offers are very concise with our words. Like I think that's one of the biggest thing I focus on is I'm very careful with how like the words I use for every sentence of the sales call, because every word matters. So on this one, I typically would do a smaller range versus 25 to 34 grand. Usually I would do, like a 3 or 4 grand gap. And that way, if he rejects it, we go up to our higher 34 grand. So I would say, we can typically pay more than other investors, Andrew. And what my team would show me for a property like this, it looks like other investors, they're like 25 and 28,000. Like, what do you even say to an investor making an offer like that?
Okay.
And then you're probably like, oh, that's impossible. You're like, yeah, it looked a little low when I saw that. I mean, it does look like my team is closer to about 33 or 34,000. Like, what do you think about that? So that we can basically make 2 offers in one, essentially. So we can see what their first thoughts are on the lower range, and then we make our second offer. And then depending on I need 80,000. Obviously, there's no deal there. But you see how there's like the difference between we want to shift blame so they don't yell at us. And then we make our first smaller range, and then after they reject it, it's like, actually, it does look like my team is closer to this. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was trying to do with shift blame.
Yeah. Let's see here. Does that make sense?
Totally.
That I was offered.
Yeah, you said you had some offers already and someone local interested or something.
Yeah, well, I ain't coming off of it under 80, so I mean that'd be. I know what the ward told me to sell it for, so I ain't coming off of it under 80.
Okay, that's exactly what I was wondering. I know we won't get
that'll make it easy for you. I think somebody offered me around like 70. This is just me. Somebody offering me. What was it? Somebody offered me right off the bat like 70 or 75 or something like that.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's right around what this property is worth, maybe even a little more. You might get 80 with your if you list it on the market with a realtor, and it might take a little bit, but you might be able to get that. But yeah, we're just probably not the right partner for you. I had to.
Yeah, there's not much we can do here. Maybe I would try and. It depends. Like if you really want to work these types of leads really difficult, like really hard, then I would be like 80,000. Like, where'd you get that? Is that from a realtor? How'd you come up with that? Like, oh, I got this other offer for 70. Just want a little bit more. You got an offer for 70,000? Are you serious? And you didn't take it. And now, like, we're planting that doubt in his mind. And he's gonna be like, no, I just want a little bit more. Like, wow, man, like just based on what I'm seeing here, like this is all I do. I just look at land all day, and I mean, offer for 70,000, like that's like more than like what you'd get up, net on the market. And then now we're kind of just seeing what he thinks about that, because sometimes you put that seed of doubt in their mind, and then they call you back 3-4 weeks later, and they're like, you know what, I'd be willing to do 50. Could you do that? And then you walk it up as a double close. Like that's happened.
Okay, so what about in the beginning, rebuilding the rapport without restating all the same things?
Yeah, thank you for getting back to that. So I repeat some things that my setters mentioned. So when I do that, I will usually mention, like, I think I'm going to ask you this, but I just want to confirm, and then like say the same thing. What are some examples that you have like the same questions of, just so I can give you a real example?
Usually asking about the features of the property. They're all written down and like the three whys why they want to sell, you know.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, you can mention like, oh, it's kind of hard to tell on the map here. Is this a paved road, right? And they're like, yeah, it's a paved road. Like, and my partner mentioned like there's utilities here. Is that right? And like you kind of just like use that subtle. Like my partner mentioned, just want to confirm things like that. Because if you just say it without adding those little parts in, they're like, well, I just said this, and they'll get mad.
Right.
Just make sure you don't ask too many of the same questions. Like you're probably fine to ask 2 or 3 of the same questions, but make sure you're not doing the exact same thing. Usually I try and ask more open-ended questions. Not to give away all of my sauce on this call, but usually I'll be like, my partner mentioned you've owned it for quite a while now. Was that right? Like that's like right after I frame the call. And then they start talking like, yeah, I bought it 10 years ago to go hunting and do this. And then from there, it's pretty easy to get them to talk.
Cool. All right. That's probably enough on that call, and I gotta get on this plane, but thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Does that help for not repeating, not getting yelled at?
Definitely.
Sweet. Cool. Let's see. Any other calls? I think that's it. Cal, are you back on? No. Does anyone have any questions as far as sales process, objections, anything? Now's the time. Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, I gotta ask because I've seen that you've just been like crushing it with contract sign. I know I think I saw something that you did 19 contracts or something last month, which is just that's mind blowing. I'm just curious, like, because I love knowing like KPIs and numbers, and just kind of was just curious what that looks like on your end as far as like what your metrics are for contracts sent, maybe like at a per day basis, and then maybe even kind of taking it to the next level as like far as how many of those you're actually going through the offer. I know you're probably trying to go through the offer with every single seller, but I'm just curious like the conversion rate and then how many of those convert to signed leads.
Yeah, so we do gross leads, net leads, and then offers made, contracts sent, contracts signed. So gross leads, so for Mark, gross leads are leads pushed. So we do texting only as well. So gross leads are any leads pushed to the CRM. They're not really qualified that much. They'll usually ask like 2 or 3 questions. There's no range offers. Once they say yes, they want to sell, my setters take the calls. From there, once the setter get off the phone, they get an asking price, they book an appointment. That's a net lead. They comper, then comps it, sends it to me, and I make the offer. So I currently, like the last 6 months, for every 8 offers I make is 1 signed contract. And then 60% of those close. So 40% of contracts fall through due to, I try and lock stuff up. If I'm like questioning about it, I always lock it up because I'd rather just cancel than miss out. So I think the majority probably comes from that. And then obviously like I locked up a property like wetlands last week, it's not any good. Once the realtor walks it, things like that. I'm trying to think, what other KPIs you were curious about?
I was just curious, like your conversion as far as like, so whenever you get a contract set, like what percentage of sellers are you getting on the phone to actually walk through those offers?
It's not good actually. When we increased our texting, our conversion dropped quite a bit. Let me pull up the KPI sheet. I'm not going to share my screen just for a couple of reasons, but let me see if I can find it.
I have noticed, like, as we've slowly kind of started implementing the going over contracts on the phone, like we're seeing like drastic numbers as far as kind of PAs getting signed, but it's like, I think we're just trying to figure out that magic sauce of like how we can get more sellers on the phone to go over those offers.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Is like for me, it's the setters. I need them to book more appointments for me because right now we're having a huge gap between gross leads and net leads.
Yeah,
so we've tried playing around. Like we just got brand new phone numbers for them. We registered the numbers. If they come up spam, obviously that's gonna their pickup rate's gonna be low. Let's see here. Look, there's so many metrics. I'm trying to find percentage. So Dang, that's so.
Even if you've just got like a rough percentage, like would you say like over 50% of like offers you're going over with sellers?
So like, let's look. Yeah, this is horrible. So last month we had 298 leads. So that was about 654 texts per lead. We only had 69 net leads, which is not good at all. Let's see. So that's about 2,800 texts per net lead. From there, I made 57 offers, which is 80%. So usually whatever your net leads is, you want to make 80% offers on. You usually want to be 90, but like my average is like 83. Yeah, 83. So of all appointments booked for me, I'm able to get on the phone with 83% of them and make the offer.
That's awesome.
So that's where I'm trying to figure out, because if we can get that to 90%, because a lot of people like the first step is obviously fix your close rate, right? For all businesses. If you can fix your close rate, you're going from 1 to 20 offers to 1 to 10, you just doubled your close rate. Now to double again, just double your show rate. And we're trying to figure that out. And that's like the hardest part, I feel like. Because sales is just like, I mean, you'll figure out all the objections, like all like the tactics, because it's a skills game.
Yeah.
But the show rate, like we've tried so many different things. We're like sending PDFs over text to try and like boost our authority, but like now they think we're realtors. Like, let's see here. But yeah, 80% is offers made.
Awesome. I mean, those are still really solid numbers. That's great.
Let's see here. And then I'm trying to think. I think the biggest bottleneck from what I see from other people is verbals accepted, the contract signed. That's because they're not getting signed live.
Yeah.
So like usually that should be like 80 to 90% verbals should be accepted. I feel like a lot of people are like 50%.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I was just curious about kind of this KPIs, but
of course,
sounds like you're crushing, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? Cool. We'll zoom out for a bit. So the dangerous thing about sales, in this business, most deals, kind of like Jordan and I were just talking about, they don't die like dramatically. They die quietly. Sometimes the sellers, they don't say no. Kind of like how Corbin was saying, they don't even answer you. They don't hang up. They say things like, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my wife. They hit you with those objections, and you get off the call. You're like, this was a decent call, but those decent calls, like those aren't signed contracts. Those aren't closed deals. And you think more reps will fix it, but a lot of you on this call probably have already had quite a lot of reps. You've had opportunities, but what you haven't had is someone telling you, exactly where this deal slipped and where it went wrong. And sales, it's not about being slick. It's about saying the thing at the right moment, and more importantly, not saying the wrong thing when money is on the table. And that's why two people can run the exact same lead, same script, same market, and one will close consistently and the other one doesn't. And people have to understand your biggest expense is not software. It's actually opportunity cost from all those missed opportunities. So let's make this real. Let's do the math for those that are still actively on here. Love to see the cameras on. So let's say Jordan, when you say your average deal size, like 20,000, that's like super conservative, right?
Yeah, probably 20, 25.
Yeah, ours is 33 because we have a couple big deals that skew it. But let's say your average deal is 20,000, which is low. And let's say you miss 2 deals a month, just 2. That's 40,000 a month. How much is that a year for those?
A little under 5. I'm terrible at math. Under 500, close to half a mil.
Corbin, what is it?
480,000.
480.
That's 2 Ferraris, bro.
Oh my gosh. So let's be conservative. Let's say your average deal size is 15,000. So let's say it's 30 grand a month. Corbin, what's that? Just to be super conservative for those.
15 times 12.
30 times 12. Let's say you're missing just 2 deals a month, but most people are probably missing 5.
30 times 12. That's 7, or that's 600.
And then like 360,000.
640. 640.
360,000.
Oh, well, wait,
Corbin,
30,000 times 12?
30,000 times 12, 360,000. Yeah.
Oh, wow, I'm way off that.
So what would you say your biggest expense is right now, Corbin?
My biggest expense.
Yeah.
This? Why do you think I'm on here, bro?
Missed opportunity.
I'm probably losing 1 to 2 deals a month. Like realistically, I think if we're all being.
What would you say like in like hard costs? Like would you say it's like mail or like payroll? Or what's your biggest actual like expense?
Oh, payroll for sure. Yeah.
Okay, and how much is that per month?
9, 10.
9 or 10. So essentially, that's your second biggest expense, and this is probably costing you about 30 grand a month.
Yeah, it's the unknown cost almost. Like I don't even, to put it into perspective, I feel like a lot of people don't, but like I'm probably losing 2 deals a month, which is a small number. 2 deals, like it's 2, like when you only see 2, it's like a small number. But when you put it into perspective, how much is a deal? 20,000. That's 40,000. That's crazy.
It really is.
I don't know. I don't really think about it that much, but it hurts.
I know it does. So here's how I can help. So there's 3 paths depending on where you're at. So obviously, I work with Ajay. He is my coach. I started with him about a year ago. He's phenomenal. So, and you can see there's some tweets. I tweet pretty much every deal that I do. So if you have Twitter, I'm on there. So let's see. This to the next. Oh, there we go. So how I can help. So if you have a deal that is at least $25,000 in spread and the seller is right there, but you for some reason not able to get them to the finish line, send it to my email, which I'll drop in the next slide. I'll step in, I will close the seller for you, and then I can even run the dispo for you, do 60-40. If I don't do the dispo, then it'll be 50-50. But this is better for beginners. You get paid, you learn by watching, and then there's no guessing. So I actually did this on which deal is it? I think it was one of the $29,000 deals. Someone sent me a deal. They were firm at 73,000, and I got them at $50,000, and we bought it, and then we split it 50-50. So we split the 29,000. And then let's see where it is. Number 2, I am opening a small sales training group. It's going to be very limited because I run a land business, not a sales coaching. So there'll be 10 spots for right now. So there's actually a couple that have been filled, but the first 5 people that join will get my Google Drive of it's like 35 plus closed calls that I've closed. Most of them signed live. So you can download it, take the full transcripts, and literally embed everything in your own business or your closer. So you'll get that, and you'll be locked in $500 a month. And what it looks like, we can answer all these questions after, but it's 1 hour a week, just like this. After that, it's only $800 a month. But again, I'm capping it at 10 people. So once we hit that, I'm not having anyone else on because then I don't want it to be too much. And this is for people who have leads, but you're done letting deals slip through the cracks. So if you don't have leads, I do not recommend this. If you're also looking for the full thing, I highly recommend Ajay. Tell him I sent you. Check his stuff out. He has a school community. He has courses. He's got all that stuff. He does what we do now and more. So everything he does, the scripts I have came from him. A lot of stuff came from him, Jeremy Minor, and then obviously me figuring out. Let's see here. Yeah, Ryan, our coach.
Yeah, I just want to say to everyone out there, Nick's the real deal. I actually found Nick on Twitter and just saw what he was doing and invited him out to the land house before he was actually living there, staying there, and saw his skills and abilities. I mean, that's part of being someone with the moniker coach. Like I literally assess talent for decades. So that's something I'm able to do. And he knows exactly what to do and how to say it and when to say it. And he is, in my opinion, if not the best, one of the top 3 best closers within the land space. And I'm not just saying like, if you don't take advantage of this opportunity to hype up, 'cause he's my guy, I'm doing it myself. I'm working with Nick because I think he's the best out there. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have closed my first deal within my business. He literally walked me through everything of what to say, how to do it, double closed it. And when you get the wire, you're like, wow, this is huge. So I'm saying it from personal experience where I think you're just nuts if you don't take advantage of this. And I can't thank you enough for the value that you've provided the boys in the house, man. So, and he's not asking me to say that. This is what I wanted to just genuinely say because he's awesome. So,
all right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. And again, guys, like I don't care if you work with me, Ajay, anyone. I highly recommend just get someone in your industry, get a coach. This is literally taking my business from like I was cold calling for 8 months. I got 2 deals for 8 months, and now if we don't hit 10 contracts a month, it's a disappointment. So it's crazy what happens when that shifts. Here's my email. Feel free to save it. So here's how this works in a second. I'm going to stop this call. And if sales is not your bottleneck, you're getting 2+ contracts a week, hop off the call. You don't probably need sales training. But if you've been listening to these calls thinking like, I've lost a deal just like this, staying on it might be the move. So for those who do stay, I'll walk through how the training works, who it's for, who it's not for. You guys can ask me any questions. And if you want to talk privately, I have a Calendly link here for you guys. And it's not a sales call. It's just like, here's my situation. Does this make sense? Does it not? Chat here. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate you guys hopping on here. You guys have a great day. And if you are interested in closing more deals, stay on. I'll answer any questions.
I'm going to literally close that guy right now, and then I'm going to send it to everybody. Peace, guys.
Go do it. Sweet. Good stuff. Cool. I just dropped that. If you guys want to have any private questions.
Let's say that, everybody has to make one. And then it's like,
Woody.
Cool. Anyone have any questions?
Nick, is there anyone else on the call, or is it just me, you, and Woody at this point?
There's 23 people on the call.
Well, I know there's a lot of note takers, so I wasn't sure if there's like actual people.
About the program, let's discuss.
Oh, there we go.
Well, if I'm a fit or not, but let's see.
Yeah. Let's do it. What questions what do you have? Fire away.
Well, I'm just starting out with my partner. We were just started out sending direct mail, and we haven't really got virtually no response, just a few minor responses. So I'm not even in, but again, when I get response, I need to know how to close, and you have demonstrated that very well. So
thank you. So how many leads do you guys say you're getting per month right now?
we only got about one response, if you can call it, you can't even call it a lead. It's just a response. We had basically a train wreck of mailing. Sending direct mail in Georgia is just a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely, you want to have leads, because the only way I can give you feedback is with calls. So if you're making, you want to be making probably at least 10 offer calls. I'd say a week, even five a week. I'd say is probably like the minimum.
Okay.
For it to make sense. Just because, you don't want to just be in there and, you can learn from other people that would be on the call, but I'd recommend getting a little bit more lead flow. How many mailers are you sending out? If you don't mind me asking.
We're sending out about 500 to 1,000, but again, it's been the design. Really, the crux of it has been the design and the regs on it, and we've changing up things to just get it dialed in. It's a startup, and so we're looking at going to other states right now. We're going to do a new mailing to other states and with range offers right now. That's what we're looking at. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would say, I don't, I'm not selling against myself, but I would just give it some more time. And then, I'll always be here for you. And then when you have more leads close, or maybe once you have that first deal slip through the cracks, you're like, oh shoot, where's Nick? You got my email. But no, I just keep sending mail, keep doing deals, and you'll be awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good one. Anyone else have any other questions before we hop off here? Sweet. I love it. Lindsay's sending me a deal right now. Sweet. Give it one more minute here before I hop off.
Great call, Nick. Very informative. I'm not closing, but it's always great to. I've known acquisition manager, as you know, but always good to listen to it. And I like you keep it very simple, and that's very I've already had back in the day, listen to people that were closing, and they always made it so complicated. You keep it very simple, just mirror it or don't talk as much. And that's you see a lot in this industry, honestly, that people don't have a fucking clue how to close or how to do sales. And it's not that hard. I mean, I feel like it's a confidence thing and a simplicity thing, and you do good on both. You want to take authority, you push that, we have to take authority of the call, and then you keep it simple and get people to not talk as much.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing is people talk too much. The closers talk too much and they don't go for the close. So I feel like everyone just gets in their own head. That's what I've seen. But yeah, no, we had dinner the other night with a bunch of land investors in Scottsdale that have been in the business since 2017. And they told me they scaled down their marketing because they had no idea what they'd get back if they spent money. It was just crazy to think half of our industry is going out of business. And this will be by far, obviously, my best year.
It's a lack of skills.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, cool. I'm gonna call it here, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
y'all.
Nick. This was awesome, man. You crushed it.
Great day. See you, everyone.